have that. This is all from last week. The new stuff starting quarter 2, because now we're in quarter 2. So new quarter, new you. Okay. Quarter 2 is going to be on the back side. So flip your paper, everybody flip your paper. And we're going to start quarter 2 table of contents. We're going to label it page number, title, date, just like we did on the front. You will have a binder check quarter 2 before Christmas break. Christmas, which I know seems like
holiday.
It is officially like holiday season. We are in Halloween season. We are in spooky season. And then it goes to fall. And then it goes to winter. And Santa on a sled. Yes, all of that. It makes me so sad. There's these kids in the neighborhood because my daughter plays outside literally for like 4 hours every single day. They just run rampant throughout the neighborhood. She's only 5, and there's like a 9-year-old, there's a 7-year-old, there's a 5-year-old, there's a 4-year-old, there's a 2-year-old, there's another 4-year-old, and another 6-year-old, and they just all run crazy in the cul-de-sac. And they literally tell her, like the older one tells her that Santa's not real, and it makes me sick. They did that like 2 years ago, and I was just like, shut the fuck up. Like my mom's had, and then she comes home, she's like, and I'm like, well, that's why I don't get gifts.
I mean, I never. I would think that he wasn't real. I used to stay after that.
It's. I know. I'm like, dude.
I
tell you not to say that in front of other people.
I've been cool. Unless the kid makes me bad, I don't know.
It's so sad. I'm like, and at the time she was. I mean, she just turned 6. So when it started, when she was 4, they were telling her Santa's not real. I was like, she's only 4. She literally just, you know what I mean? That's so sad. It makes me so sad. I wanted to like go kick that kid in the face.
Oh.
Okay, so that's number 30. So 30 is angle proof. So we're going to start kind of like how we did last week. We're just going to kind of match theorems to what it says on the other side. And then we're going to do a couple proofs together and then go about our business. So remember, we're doing the test review not for homework. We're doing the test review tomorrow in class. The only reason why you should be working on it not at home is if you are not going to be here tomorrow because for some reason. Okay. So it says the first thing, first off, it says addition property, subtraction property, multiplication property, division property. We did all that last week. We talked about reflexive property, symmetric property, transitive property last week. Okay. Those can still be involved. The new ones for angles are literally just the stuff with angles, which is on this poster over here. So vertical angles are crisscross from each other. They're congruent, complementary, add to make 90, supplementary, add to make 180. So it's basically all of this stuff that we're adding into like our proofs. And let's look at the first one. The first one says definition of congruence. This is from last week. If I say something is equal, I can change it to a congruency symbol. If it's a congruency symbol, I can change it to an equal sign. It goes back and forth. Which one matches that in 1 through 12? Not 3.
12.
12. 12 says that the measure of angle R is equal to S, then R is congruent to S. So that's the definition of congruence. The next one says definition of a right angle. A right angle, it says that it may an angle measure 90s if and only if it's a right angle. So basically, if it's 90, then it's a right angle, and it goes back and forth. If it's a right angle, then it's 90. Which one would that be? It is 1. It says it's a right angle, then it's equal to 90. So def of a right. Definition of right angle. So we're literally just matching an example to the definition, basically. The next one says definition of complementary angles. Complementary means that they have a sum. What does sum mean? Add. So you are showing that it's literally adding. I want you to put a little plus sign next to this. It is literally adding to make 90 degrees. 10. 10 is adding to make 90 degrees. So that's definition of complementary. I'm just gonna put comp for short. There's actually one other definition of complementary. Mm. 4. It's adding to make 90. So see the little plus sign? That's definition of complementary. The next one's very similar, but instead of complementary, it's supplementary. So we're looking for definition of supplementary. It means it has a sum of 180. It is literally adding to make 180. 7. They are literally adding to make 180. That's what you meant? Def of supplementary. The drink something. Scratchy. Pause. Okay, this one actually does not have an example to go with it. It says definition of an angle bisector. I don't know why it doesn't have an example. I messed up. But it says an angle bisector divides an angle into 2 parts. So basically, when I split it, it makes 2 equal halves, this side and this side. There's not an example of this one. The next one says definition of perpendicular. Perpendicular lines form a right angle. So which one shows perpendicular lines? 6. Not 7, just 6. So literally perpendicular, it's like the upside down capital T. 6 is definition of perpendicular. Def of perp. The next one's angle addition postulate. We did this in chapter 2. If I say angle ABD plus DBC, that equals the whole thing ABC. 11. Angle addition postulate. How do we feel so far? Do we feel okay? Okay, next one is vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. They crisscross. They're opposite of each other. 3. 3 is vertical angles. They are crisscross from each other. That is number 3. Yep. We're going to shorten it to Bert. Now, this is the one, these next 4 people, well, really the next 2, this one and this one, people get confused with the ones that we put a plus sign next to. So whenever you say definition of complementary or definition of supplementary, it's literally showing you're adding. That's why we put a plus sign next to them. Complement theorem is still talking about complementary angles, but it's not adding to make 90. It says if 2 angles form a right angle, then they are complementary. So it's literally using the words right angle and complementary. It does not show they are adding, but it's still talking about the same thing. Which one would that one match with? 5. 5 is complement theorem. So complement theorem is complementary. So adding to make 90, but it's not talking about literally adding. If it has a plus sign, it's definition. If it's a plus sign, your definition. If it's in words, it's complement theorem. So complement theorem goes with number 5. Same thing, linear pairs theorem is technically supplement theorem. You're adding to make 180, but it does not show it's adding to make 180. It's saying it's a linear pair. A linear pair is supplementary. 9. And then the last two are very similar to transitive property, which is like very random, but it says congruent complements theorem and congruent supplements theorem. So they're the same, just one's complementary, one's supplementary. It says if angle A is complementary to B and C is complementary to B, then basically I can remove angle B, I can cross them out, and I can say angle A and angle C are congruent. But they are complementary, so they're adding to make 90. So which one would that represent? 8. 8. So this is congruent complement. And then the last one is the same thing, but instead of complementary, it's supplementary. It says 2 angles are supplementary to the same angle, then they're congruent. So it's basically removing the middleman, which is transitive property. If A is supplementary to B, C is supplementary to B, I can take out B and say whatever's left over is congruent to each other. So that one's obviously going to be 2. So congruent Yeah, we crossed off number 7, 8, and 9 because I did not give you the word bank for them. And anytime you have a proof, you can have a word bank. I thought. Okay. Let's do some proofs.
We are like.
Yeah, so if you want to rip off your paper, because remember, these are our answer choices. If you want to rip it apart and restaple it later, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to like lay it awkwardly, you can also do that. Whatever you want to do. There's a bunch of staplers back there, so at the end of class, you can restaple it together. Let's go to number, let's go to number 2. So, number 2's options are right here. Here's our little word bank. So, number 2 says, given 2 is congruent to 3. Angle 1 is 2 are form a linear pair. What? Given. Okay, given goes here. Now, if you notice, that's only one piece of it. It says 2 is congruent to 3, 2 is congruent to 3. So where else can given go? No. No, if you read it, it says angle 1 and angle 2.
Oh, 4.
That's not. That's 3.
6. Oh, it says prove.
Yeah. The prove, somebody last class was saying this too. They were saying that because they gave me the prove, that's going to be given. Given is never the prove. Given is never the bottom one, ever, ever. Prove is like not even an option in our word bank. So on your paper, you can cross these out because we've already used them. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I use the same little scrap piece of the paper for every single class. So those are our options for number 2. So let's kind of read this. You should be looking at the picture. The pictures are there to help you. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. That's given. And then it changes from a equal sign or congruency symbol to an equal sign. So if I change my symbol, does anybody remember from last week? If I change my symbol, not substitution, definition of congruent. If you flip flop from an equal sign to a congruency sign to an equal sign, goes back and forth, automatically definition of congruence. We have definition of congruence. Then step 3 says angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. That's because it's given. And then it says angle 1 and angle 2, if they're a linear pair, that means angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. So if I'm talking about a linear pair, and then I'm talking about supplementary, linear pair theorem. If you flip to the front side of your notes, linear pair theorem literally says, where is it? Linear pair theorem down here. Linear pair theorem says the words, you're going from a linear pair to supplementary. That's going to be linear pair. A lot of people think it's supplementary. Definition of supplementary. Definition of supplementary is where you're literally adding to make 180. So it's not that. Linear pair. Okay, so the next one says angle 1 and angle 2 in my picture. Angle 1 and angle 2 add to make 180. If I'm talking about that they're supplementary, because you're always tying the previous step to the next step. So the previous step was supplementary. Now it's saying angle 1 and angle 2 are add to make 180. Definition of supplementary. Then it changes. Notice that measure of angle 1 stays the same from the previous step to the next step. Measure of angle 2 changes to angle 3. Substitution. So they changed it because if I know the two angles are congruent, then I can substitute angle 3 for angle 2 using substitution. And then if they add to make 180, then angle 1 and angle 3 are supplementary. They're definition of supplementary, because the previous step was talking about them adding. This step is talking about calling them supplementary. The reason why is because definition of supplementary. Okay. Why don't I go back to one? Take a minute. See if you can fill out some stuff for number 1. Just try. Number 1's not that bad. Start with your given. Remember, there's only one of these on the test. So just try your best. Try your best and rock with it. Let's go with it. There's one proof. There's one proof on the test.
What?
Yeah. Like there's only one proof. Like if you look at your test review, because you should have got it earlier. It's literally just number 1. Number 1's a proof. That's it.
It's so hard.
Yeah. So like it's not. People get stressed with proofs, but there's a lot of them. They're just annoying. That's why we do them for so long. Because I know your guys are annoying. I'm also annoyed, but
This part I don't like you. I don't like you. You're fine. One thing, that's what you said this morning?
Thanksgiving is in.
Like.
That's 6
November.
We have 6 weeks till. Yeah.
What is this dumb for Thanksgiving? I'm
gonna go dumb for Thanksgiving. It's gonna end up with six.
Oh, no, Carter, what is it with six ID?
If you know, because if it's writing, then you know it's right.
If you're what with six ID. Yeah, I don't like him, bro. No, you don't wanna play, I don't like. So you're what with this? One of these are. Huh? I don't know which one. Number 3 is Anglo edition. But I'm take it. Like one wagon. We're part of it now. What? We're part of it in bothering. That don't be so funny.
This is for those part.
Yeah. I made that hard by.
Oh, bro.
High school when I was born. Yeah. I graduated high school in 2011. Listen, I'm old. Okay.
I'll get 45.
And then every year you guys stay the same age because it's just a new batch of children. And then I get older. And I'm like, oh. Okay, so step 1. Given. Because you should have at least got that far. Okay, so if it's a right angle, then it's 90. Why? Definition of a right angle. Okay, then if you look at your picture, it says PQS plus SQR is PQR, which is the whole thing. What is that? Angle addition postulate. They're adding them together to make a total. After they add them together, then it says PQS plus SQR equals 90 degrees. What do we even have left? We have transitive and we have complementary. Definition of complementary. Nope. Because it is tying together the previous step to this step. People think that this is adding to make 90, so it's got to be complementary angles. But because you're tying this step and this step together, what changes from this step to this step, if you notice, look at the previous steps, how they tie together. The part that is changing is this. So what they did was they took what they have in common. Where is it? It's right here. No. Transitive property. So they're keeping this and they're keeping this and they're getting rid of what's shared, which is PQR, and they're setting them equal to each other. That is transitive. Once they add to make 90, you can say they're complementary because then you're adding and you're also talking about the word complementary. So that's definition of complementary. So if you got something wrong, it's probably just flipping the last two steps. Is that what happened? Most of you? Did most of you not even try?
No, I got all.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I was just.
Erasing and rewriting.
I was erasing and rewriting. Okay, let's go to number 3. Okay, 3 has 2 givens. So where can given go for number 3? Number 1
And number 2.
and number 3. If you read it,
Oh.
so this is kind of nice because you really don't have that many blankety blanks. Okay, so I would start with automatically filling in your givens. If they're split up, find the other one. Okay, so if it says angle 1 and angle 2 form a right angle. Angle 1 and angle 2 form a right angle, that's given. Angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary. You're tying the last 2 steps together. So if it says it's a right angle, and then it says it's complementary. Definition of complementary is when you're adding to make 90. Congruent, no, not congruent complements.
Complement theorem.
Yes, if you flip back, none of you are flipping back. If you flip back, complement theorem is talking about a right angle going to complementary. So that's our correct answer. Congruent complements is where you are crossing out what they have in common and saying they're equal to each other. Whenever you do definition of complementary, you're adding to 90. So this is complement theorem. The next thing says that angle 1 and angle 3 add to make 90. So 1 and 3 add to make 90. That's given. So if I know that they are adding, and then I can say angle 1 and angle 3 are complementary, tying these 2 steps together, this is adding, and this is talking about complementary. What is that going to be? Definition of complementary. And then the last one is congruent complement. And the reason why that one's congruent complement is because it's basically removing what they share. So it's tying together these 2 steps, 2 and 4, because they both have angle 1. So you can cross out angle 1. You don't need that. And then you're tying 3 and 2 together to say that they are congruent to each other. I think that one's the hardest one out of all of these. Okay, I'm going to put 4 up, try number 4. And then we'll do one more together. So try 4. This one's not that bad. You have 2 givens. Put your 2 givens in there. Put your 2 givens in your problem.
I'll remember 1. Number 6. 1 and 3. 1 and 6. It's always 1 and 3.
They all of the.
That's not going to fit in the 1 spot. Wait, what am I going to do?
This is number 4.
I don't know.
Well, this one's not terrible because you have 2 givens, you have 2 definition of an angle bisector, and 1 transitive property. Use your picture.
I did it. In 36.
Wait, I like, bro, I'm about to card. I will throw a computer at you. What? He already has something.
So what you're gonna get to is you. See. These step us. But she's way taller than Pixie. That's like Pixie Roman.
No, she's just tall. She's just tall.
It's just that she was good.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, given is 1. Given is also 3.
Yeah.
Good. So if you read it, it makes sense. It says BE, B to E, is bisecting ABD, which means it's cutting it in half. So you know ABE is congruent to EBD because of definition of an angle bisector. Def of angle bisector. It's the same thing for the next one. It says BD also bisects EBC. So that means that this piece is congruent to this piece. Definition of an angle bisector. If you look at your picture, it's talking about EBD and DBC. Those are next to each other. They're congruent. I can say they're congruent because it's an angle bisector. The last step would have to be what? Transitive. And if you are confused why it's transitive, it's because ABE is congruent to DBC. If you look at this step and this step, they both share EBD. I can take that out and I can set this piece equal to this piece. It's removing what they have in common and setting them equal to each other. We're gonna do number 6 because number 6 is like scary just because it's super long. Notice you have 10 blanks. Okay. On the EOC, you can only have a max of 3 blanks, just so you know.
3.
3. Nope. So just keep that in mind, like
We only 3 blanks.
on the EOC, if they give you a proof, there's usually 3 to 4 proofs max on the EOC. And then within those problems, you only have 3 blanks. They can't give you more than 3 blanks. And then there's a word bank. So, okay. But they don't give you exactly 3 things. They're going to give you a bunch of extra options to choose from, obviously. So, number 6, let's do this madness together. Let me put our options up. You guys will have 1 problem to do by yourselves. So 6 says given angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary, angle 3 and angle 4 are also complementary. Where can those go?
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Said it.
So given can go here. Given can also go here. So they're complementary, meaning they're adding to make 90. Then it says the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90. I just said that they're complementary. Now I'm saying they add to make 90. What is that?
Angle.
Definition of complementary.
Sure.
Because I said they're complementary. Now I'm showing that they're adding to make 90. So I can say definition of complementary.
Next one says.
No.
No.
Definition of complementary.
So the next one says 3 and 4 are complementary. That is also definition of complementary. The reason why is because it's showing you're saying 3 and 4 are complementary. Then it's saying they add to make 90. So that's still definition of complementary. No. Wait, what'd you say?
Definition of
Vertical angles. How'd you know they were vertical angles? What did you use?
The picture.
The picture.
use AR.
If you look at the picture, 2 and 3 are here and here. They are vertical angles. The picture is there for a reason. You should
The
be
next one. Next one.
The next one is definition of congruence. Why do you know it's definition of
This
congruence?
is from like the line.
Yes, sir. So it says it's congruent. The only thing that changes is an equal sign. When it changes signs and everything else is the same, when it changes signs, that's definition of congruence. That's from last week. The next one says angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 3 plus angle 4. Transitive property. And then for the next one, yes. So transitive property pops up here because I know you guys don't understand transitive property. Transitive property pops up here because it's taking these two pieces from 3 and 4. And I know it's like not the previous step, so that's probably why you didn't notice it. But it's crossing out the 90. They both share 90 degrees, and then it's equaling the equations to each other. So the next step, she said, is substitution, which is correct, because if I know angle 2 is congruent to angle 3, if you look, 1 stays the same, the plus sign's the same. The only thing that's changing is this part right here. 3 stays the same, 4 stays the same, because if I know 2 is congruent to 3, I can plug 3 in for angle 2. The next one, subtraction, because you would minus angle 3 to both sides. And then which one? Definition of congruence. And the reason why is because your equal sign changes to a plus sign. Your plus sign changes to an equal sign. So you have one problem to do because we're going to skip 7, 8, 9. You have one problem. And then you're going to take a picture of it and you're going to put it online because I do not want to collect your little packets. Huh?
Didn't you put the?
I have not put the test in because people were finishing today.
You not put it in.
No, I had to put it in, but I'm not making it 100 points. I'm making it 50 points instead of 100. And then it's also curved. I just want to let you know the district's average for that text was a 45%.
Yeah, they suck. I got a 75.
That's good. That's really good.
I didn't have my phone. I was sitting right next to the and I cheated.
Yeah.
You have your pictures back.
That's a great question. You just took pictures like 2 weeks ago. I think it takes usually like the biggest picture. Like mail?
No, it. Yeah, I.
Oh, like you got the digital down.
Yeah, I got.
I got a 75.
Check my phone and it said I got a message.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the digital ones will come back super fast, but like I order pictures of my daughter in fact. Yeah. And those, if you get order like actual pictures.
That's good.
That's
Are you gonna come to the end?
It depends. Then